the general session started for this afternoon. And before we do that, if you're in the room here earlier, I think I forgot somebody that's very important. I can't remember whether or not I did recognize this person, but my chief deputy, Chief Matt Bowser, if you stand, he runs a daily operation, allows me to do all the stuff that I do, and the 2 committees that I'm on in Richmond, the 911 board, and I was on the opioid commission and things like that. So he operates daily, works hard, and just pleasure to have him and have him as my chief deputy since I started in 2008 when he was a young officer. The people thought, why did you do that? This guy that hadn't been there that long, but he was so well-rounded and so knowledgeable. And it's like, I know that when I'm not there, I know that he's operating things the way I would and doing things the right way. So thank you, Matt. I'm sorry if I didn't mention you earlier. This afternoon, we had the pleasure of bond coverages for sheriffs with Miss Anita Melton, Senior Claims Manager, Division of Risk Management. Anita is a Senior Claims Manager, the Division of Risk Management. She oversees the administration of the Commonwealth of Virginia Constitutional Officer and Regional Jail Management Plan, the risk, as well as the Virginia Liability Risk Management Plan for Risk 2. Annika joined DRM in 2013 as a risk consultant before assuming the role as a senior claims manager in 2018. She is currently responsible for handling complex liability claims and lawsuits against constitutional officers, regional jails, and political subdivisions. Annika also supervises the activities of a team of claims professionals in those areas. Upon completion of her studies at Elizabeth City State University, Annika gathered significant experience in litigation support, case management, and working with in-house and outside counsel. Her experience and training also includes social work, private investigation, and customer service. So give her a good, warm Virginia Sheriff's welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm going to take this thing off. I tried. I can't talk. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Awesome, awesome. So it is a pleasure to be here. I am grateful to the VSA for the invitation and the opportunity to come before you. Some of you may have seen me before, and some of you will see me many times in the future. Not on the other end of a lawsuit. I'm not going to claim that for you. Listen, I know your agenda says bond coverages, but I cannot pass up the opportunity to review the coverage protection that most sheriffs rely on most often. And you call me when you get a lawsuit, right? So first, we're going to we're going to review the liability protection. We're going to talk about what to do if you're sued. We're going to talk about our loss control program. Then we'll examine the bond coverages that are available to you guys, okay? So some of this, like I said, some of you have seen me before, so some of this is going to look really familiar. And I want it to. And the reason why is because I want this ingrained in your brains, right? Funny story, won't take long. My youngest daughter just finished her driver's ed behind the wheel lesson. She came home from her exam and said, "Mommy, all I could hear was you in my head saying, brake, 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 brake." Now, if any of you have ever taught a teenager to drive, you've said this. So the fact that that's what she heard in her head when she was taking her test and driving, that means I've done my job. So when you hear me in your head after you've been served with a lawsuit saying, "Call me, call me, call me," then that means I've done my job, as long as you actually turn around and then call me. Okay, so we'll get started. VA risk is the short name for the Virginia Constitutional Officer and Regional Jail Risk Management Plan. So as you may or may not be familiar with, VA risk provides coverage to each of you and your staff members for your official duties in the course and scope of employment and authorization, you have up to $1.5 million of liability protection per claim. Unlike other constitutional officers who only have $1 million, you guys, because of the work that you do, have $1.5 million, and that is a big deal. VA Risk also provides for defense costs and expenses, judgment interests, court costs, appeal bond premiums. Am I supposed to be clicking this thing? Okay, let's go with the next slide. Is this it? All righty. So what I want to go over first is the Code of Virginia. And I'm not going to read all this because you are all very intelligent people. And you have the ability and capacity to read the Code of Virginia for yourself. What's most important is the section that you see in red, okay? As I stated, the coverage that's available for you, the liability protection that is afforded to you as constitutional officers, as sheriffs of Virginia, is offered to you while acting in an authorized governmental proprietary capacity and in the course and scope of employment or authorization. So what does that mean? That means DRM will provide coverage. The liability protection is available for you through VA Risk when defendants are covered, meaning their current or former employees, the allegations and activities are covered, the relief is covered, and all terms of VA Risk are complied with. And you comply with the immediate notification of the suit papers, and you fully cooperate with defense counsel, should we assign defense counsel to assist you. Now, here's what's most important. What to do if you are sued. So a lawsuit is filed, and the suit papers make their way to you. What are you gonna do? What should you do? Very good, y'all are good students. Call me. There's gonna be a whole slide with my name and my team's name and contact information. You will have the opportunity to call me. But as you're doing that, I also want you to take down some pieces of information, all right? I need you to record who received the suit papers. If it wasn't you, who accepted them? When did they get them? And how did they get them? Was it a private process server? Did they get them by mail? Was it a sheriff's deputy from another locality? Was it a sheriff's deputy from your own locality? How did the papers come? Okay? And it's okay to document that directly on the lawsuit. You can write on it. It's yours now. It's all yours. You can write on it. So if you just record received by Sheriff Joe Smith on 9/14/21 from a process server, and then we'll ask you to fill out the notice of new suit form, which is right here. And if you need one, you don't have one in your office, you can email me and I will send it to you as quick as I know how. All right? Now, after you've done all that and you emailed it, then you call me. You can call me before you do it, but call me and let me know that you sent it too. And the reason why I say that is because, while technology is great, there's this thing called a spam box. And I don't check it every day. I'll be honest, okay? So it's important to remember, I'm telling you to call me after you send it because lawsuits are time sensitive, okay? A response must be filed in the court on your behalf within the time period specified, okay? It's okay if you contact, some of you have great relationships with your county attorneys and your city attorneys, and that's fine. You can call them, call me first. Send everything to me first. Send it to me and then copy them. I don't care how you get it to them, but there's nothing that they can do for you that I can't do for you, because what they're gonna do is send it to me. And what they're gonna do is waste a day or two before they send it to me because they wanna read through it first. And we're talking about time sensitivity. Lawsuits are time sensitive. So save my number in your phone. Let me be one of your primary contacts. Hopefully, you will never have to see me or hear from me because you've been sued. That's my hope for all of you. But some of you know that's not right. That's not going to happen. So, VA risk and DRM defines immediately in the plan. The plan states in section 5C that each protected party, you're all protected parties, shall immediately upon commencement of a claim, suit, action, or other proceeding forward every demand, notice, summons, or other process to DRM immediately. And that means no later than the close of the next business day. Now, believe me, I understand. Things happen. We can't always get it to me the next business day. I'm not going to say, nope, can't help you because you didn't get it to me the next business day. But I'd appreciate it the next business day. Do yourself a favor, and if you can't get it to me the next business day, call me. Even if I don't answer, leave me a voicemail. At least I know something's coming, and I'll be on the lookout in that spam box too. So here's the main contact information. The best way to get lawsuits to us right now is to scan an email, right? Because our office is still working remotely, and we're not sure how long that's going to be. We are in the Monroe Tower. If you've never been to our office in Richmond, we're in Monroe Tower, one of the tallest buildings in Richmond, and they've only got a few elevators. And there are a bunch of people, and they have not logistically figured out how to get us all back into the building safely. So until they do, we're working remotely. So when you scan and email that to our DRM claims inbox, there is someone that monitors that inbox 24/7, and they're better than I am because they check the spam folder. They send it to me once they get it. Now, again, you can always send it to me directly. My email address is going to be on the next slide, so you can always call or, send it to me directly. But the DRM claims box allows them to go ahead and start the setup process. So it cuts down on a little bit more time. It gives them the opportunity to go ahead and set up a file number and get the ball rolling. This is my team. There are 3 of us that provide liability protection for all of you. Every constitutional officer, regional jail, well, not every regional jail, those regional jails that participate in our plan, and also local governments across Virginia that participate in our VA Risk 2 plan. So we're a small group, but we work well together, and we do our very best to get to you as quickly as possible. All righty, so I put this slide in here because I want you to know that it's important, okay? If you're not aware, there are employees in your office that have been sued in all of these states and then some. We've just wrapped up lawsuits in California. We just got another one from North Carolina. So just because the lawsuit summons paper says that the suit was filed in the circuit court in San Diego does not mean that it can go in a drawer, file 13, or lost under some other paperwork, because there's still the requirement to file a response. All right. So we've gone through number 1, what to do if you are sued. We've talked about the liability protection. And now we're going to talk about our loss control services. Our loss control services provide an opportunity for you guys to come to us, DRM employees, when you have a situation that you're just unsure about. You know something's just happened. It may turn into litigation. It may not. You are unsure how to handle an employment matter, You know you need to terminate someone, but you're not sure if the timing is right. All of those things are provided under the loss control program. We've even had Mr. Jones call us and say, hey, I've got a bunch of sheriffs that have this same situation. Can we get somebody on it? Or the sheriffs will be facing this particular situation. Can we get somebody to look into it? Okay? Interpret statute sometimes. So sometimes you just need us to be a sounding board. So you can call us and we'll listen. A lot of times you guys already know what it is you want to do. You just need somebody to say, that's the right path. And that's what we're here for. Okay, so you can get guidance from the DRM staff. We'll make recommendations. Oh, one of my best recommendations, especially when it comes to employment matters, because you guys deal with a lot of employees, document everything. Everything. No good deed goes unpunished, so document everything. The human resource consultation, that's what we mean when I talk about the employment. If you have questions about, how to handle an employee, or an employee is on leave and has run out of leave and, they have no intentions of coming back, you need to terminate them, or you don't want to terminate them, you want to figure out another way. Those are the times when you call DRM, and if we don't have the answer for you, we will see if we can't find it for you. And if it requires legal guidance, then we will work to get an attorney to help you out on that. Those consultation services are part of VRISC and the VRISC plan, and we pay for the attorney for a certain number of hours. They're not unlimited hours for you for each particular situation, but they are for a certain number of hours. So, like I said, we've definitely asked that you document everything when it comes to HR and human resources matters. Pre-litigation legal advice is sometimes necessary. If someone dies in your jail and you know that the next day the family calls, or as soon as the family finds out, they call and they say, I'm going to sue you, that's the time to call me. You may not have any more information than what you can summarize based on what your deputies have written in an incident report. But at least we can get the ball rolling by getting a file number set up and having you guys know that we're here. And if it comes to the point where we need to assign counsel to mitigate damages because, the media, the protesters, the Black Lives Matter folks are standing all outside of your jail and they're protesting because of this death. They heard about this death, and you just need to know what to do and how to do it. Like I said, we may not always have the answers, but we will do our very best to help you out. All right. So we've covered, again, your liability protection. We talked about loss control. Now, the reason we're here, bonds. Bonds are one of those mysteries that most of us don't understand. And yes, I say us because in the 9, almost 10 years that I've been doing this, I can count on probably 3 or 4 fingers how many times I've had to encounter a sheriff who had a bond issue. And that's great. That means you all are doing a wonderful job with your employees. However, we know that every once in a while, there is a situation where the bond coverage is necessary. What's important to note is that the bond does not protect who was bonded, right? It protects the Commonwealth and the public. The bond is there, and I've got some code sections here for you. Again, I'm not going to read through them, but you can refer to them later on. It basically tells you about the bond coverage, how it all works, and then we're going to go into the actual code section that gives DRM the authority to act. This code section 2.2-1840 was set up so that DRM could establish a bond plan for you guys. So the blanket surety bonding program, that DRM has set up is made of two instruments. It's a commercial bond and it's a schedule of named bonds. I didn't do that.
Wasn't me.
I didn't do that. He might have something to say about it. Let's see. I think they're trying to tell me my time's almost up. So listen, simply stated, DRM has blanket bond coverage for you and your staff. All right. The Commonwealth of Virginia Faithful Performance of Duty Bond Plan is that plan that's established to protect you guys. It pays for losses caused by the failure to account for monies or properties as prescribed by law. I'm scared to hit it. Yep, nope, That's not working. All right, we'll leave it right there, it's fine. I can talk my way through the rest of it. It pays for losses to the Commonwealth or to the applicable locality, right? It applies when you are exercising the official duties of your office. And there are limits. There's a maximum of $500,000 or other limits that are specified by the code, and that's sort of based on your locality. We'll get to that in a little more detail in just a few minutes. But bond claims, you can go to our website, the Treasury website, and go under risk management, and you will see a little bit more information on bond claims. But when you're ready, when you need to file a bond claim, the first thing you need to do is notify the auditor of public accounts, right? Number 2, you need to notify state police, all right? Number 3, we need you to complete a bond report and send that to DRM. And then number 4, we need you to go ahead and identify avenues for recovery and pursue them. That may be leave balances, that may be retirement money, that may be personal assets, or restitution. So once you've gathered all those things, you've notified APA, you've contacted state police, we need a copy. APA is going to do a report. We need a copy of that report. So DRM is going to ask you to send a copy of the APA's report. DRM is going to ask you to send a copy of the police report from the state police. And then we're going to need a copy of the formal criminal charges and sentencing orders. You're going to send that over to DRM. And you can send that to DRM claims as well, but your contact at DRM is going to be Dana Rosenzweig. Dana has been with DRM, I don't even know how long, but he just announced his retirement. And we're all sweating bullets because he's been the only one doing bonds for many, many years. But here's the important thing. We've got somebody that's going to be hired and is going to work with him for a full 6 months before he retires. That's exciting to me because I told you I can count on one hand how many times I've dealt with bonds. So we need a subject matter expert, and Dana and his replacement are those subject matter experts. Most bond claims arise from employee embezzlement, right? That's what we've seen. I did a little bit of research. I talked to Dana. The claims that we've had, most of them have come from employee embezzlement. For a sheriff's office, such as yourselves, this could be from, asset forfeiture fund, misuse of a credit card, payroll fraud, or any cash handling, really. Okay? So if you need to, and I know I mentioned the amounts, if you need to secure a copy of your bond, you can email me, and you can contact Ray Harris at our office. Okay? In the interest of time, I am going to tell you that if you have any questions, you can certainly call me or email me directly, okay? If I don't know the answer, I will forward your email over to Dana or Ray just as quick as I know how, as far as bonds are concerned. But when it comes to the VRS plan, I'm here to answer any questions that you may have. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I do not want to belabor any other speakers, so I will turn the mic back over to Sheriff Hall. Thank you.
Thank you.